And welcome to my mock inspection for the Fire Protection Systems class. Today we are here at Visalia Christian Reformed Church on 1030 South Linwood Street here in Visalia, California. And typically churches are a type, I believe a group 3 or A3, so that covers that. So that's an assembly building where it's like a place of worship. So should find some pretty cool stuff here, or not pretty cool, I guess pretty typical stuff here. So let's jump right into it. We have our fire alarm control panel. It seems to be on and working. I can kind of hear some, what is it called, a coil whine from the electronics. So it's on, seems functional. As for accessibility, it is in this closet, but with some organization, it would be totally accessible. This is a typical fire alarm in this building for the outdoors. A pole station. This is a typical pole station for this area of the building. There's a couple of different ones that I'll show later. This is an annunciator panel for the fellowship hall, the main worship hall. Appears to be on and functional. I have another pole station. However, this one is missing the glass bit that kind of prevents people from just like pulling it willy-nilly, which is concerning because this room is meant for kindergarten Sunday school. So, kids. Oh yeah, and up here we have a fire alarm that's more typical for the interiors of this church. So, I believe this would be a markdown and this would need to be serviced or replaced. There's that same sort of pole station in the same area of the building. However, this one does have its glass intact. Looks like a smoke alarm. You can see LED blinking, so it appears to be functional, so that's good. In the fire alarm system, it does appear to be pretty good, but there were a couple issues that I saw. There was, of course, that one pole station that was damaged and did not have its glass in place, and the fire control system, the control panel, sorry. While generally acceptable, it was on, and you could access it. It was somewhat obstructed, so just for posterity's sake, I'm going to say we're only getting a 3 out of 5 for that one, and I'll put up the specific check marks hopefully right here when I'm editing the video. I have sprinklers, and just to start off with the sprinkler heads themselves, this is a typical outdoor one that we have here at the church. And when walking through the church, I didn't see any of them that were obstructed or appeared to be damaged or in any sort of way. So I think we're going to move inside. The sprinkler that is more typical of the interiors. All of them seem to be in good condition. There were a couple storage rooms, and they either did not have sprinklers, so I'm assuming that those buildings were specifically grandfathered in, and the ones that did have sprinklers, they were not obstructed in any sort of way and had the 18 inches of clearance. One of the before mentioned storage rooms. You can see lots of drop ceiling in here. This one even has a guard on it. So here we have the fire department connection and the post valve indicator. Oh, I believe that's what it's called. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see that it is open and that the fire department connection is, I guess, well, it's just obscured. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to say it is. I don't think that's that bad. And it does have those older school caps that you just break off with your wrench or whatever. I have kind of where the fire department connection goes. Here we have I believe this is a test valve. Well, because of the obvious test. We have this gauge here. You can see like a tiny blue mark. I think you can see that on the video about where it's supposed to be. I have a lot of old testing things. Even the newest one that I can see in here is from, looks like 2011. Here we have one. This one's from before I was born. So, but it does all appear to be in order, in good shape. So, I think we're good here. All right, so that's it for the sprinklers. Everything looks good. Yeah, sprinkler heads look good. The clearance was good. Control valves, the risers. We saw a riser in that last clip. That looked good. And the fire department connection was accessible and capped. So we're getting a good 5 out of 5 for that one. We're back outside looking at the fire department connection. And And earlier, as I said earlier, it looks fine. However, I now realize going through this section that it does not have any sort of like placard or anything saying where it goes to. It just says that kind of round donut sign that says auto sprinkler fire department connection. So really there's only one building that it could be, just the church building, but maybe it would still need a sign or whatever. So for consistency's sake, we're going to be a little harsh and we're going to say that's going to get knocked a point. And fire department connections, this building does not have any sort of standpipe system. So those first 2 points, the one about the hose connections and the pressure reducing valves, yeah, this building does not have pressure reducing valves, I believe, for vert, so those do not apply. The fire department connection, while visible and accessible, did not have a sign, and I'm going to assume it needs a sign, which I guess, while not absolutely completely necessary because you kind of know where the water is going to go, I believe it would still technically need a sign. So we're going to say this building gets a 3 out of 4 on this section. Here we have a kind of a typical fire extinguisher in these buildings. As you can see, the valve looks good. It's a little dusty, but I think that's because, again, we're in this room again. There was recently construction in here, but it's just dust. All the other ones look fine. But this one, as you can see, they were all serviced on the 25th of August this year by Jorgensen Co. by, I can't read that signature, whatever. Looks fine. Prediction inspection, either August, November. I believe that would probably be next year. Yeah, and all the ones I looked at all had the same thing, same day, same inspector, same company. So we're good on the fire extinguishers. Oh, and they're all accessible. All of the ones in the interior, at least, are open like this. A couple things I forgot to mention about the fire extinguishers inside. They all appear to be the correct height off the ground. I believe it's at least like 4 inches. And so this is good. You probably don't want it 4 inches off the ground. That'd be kind of inconvenient, so they're all up here. These outdoor ones are in these boxes, and they used to be locked and have this piece of glass here that I believe you would need to break to open up the latch and get inside. I don't think, none of them are like this, so I don't think that's required anymore. Of course, this one is tagged, actually, very, very faint signature. I don't know if, yeah, you can kind of see it on the video, but it has a very, very faint signature. And as for the fire type, all of these are the same A, B, C. So that's for regular fires, liquid fires on like liquids, and for like electrical fires. So, and you can see the little pictograms here. Fire extinguishers. We're getting a perfect 4 out of 4 for this one. The extinguishers are present, accessible. There's none that I could find that were like blocked or in any sort of way. The inspection tags are all current, and while a couple of them did not have the signature needed, I can't really fault them because the rest of them do, and we have the company name and like the date and everything, so that's fine. So we at least know when it needs to be serviced. They're the proper type. They're the proper type A, B, and C, and they're mounted securely and at the right height. So we're getting a perfect 4 out of 4 for this one. We are back in that room again, and here we can see that we have a green exit light outdoors. Just leaves out back here. Over there is where our fire department connection is. However, if we go back over here and we look in this kitchen, we see we have a red one. And I believe the only difference between the red and the green is that I don't know, some people disagree on what color would be better. Some people say green for safety, some people say red for dangerous and an emergency. That's all I could really find online about that. But all the exit signs that I could see in this building are on and functional. Here we see some emergency lighting. Appears to be on and functional. I guess the only way to really test it would be to cut all the power. For exit routes, it doesn't appear that any are obstructed. Here we see the one out to Linwood Street. Over here we have one to the courtyard, and down there we can see another illuminated exit sign, and none of them appear to be obstructed. Someone is making a chair here, but this would definitely not be here on a operational day on a Sunday. So everything appears to be good. Oh, and throughout the rest of the church, I didn't see any exits that were obstructed, so we're good on that part. For fire-rated doors, I don't think this building has too many. We do have this one here, though, in this workshop room again. You can see, very easy to push. Closes at a good speed. I don't think this needs any work. I'll go through it. There we go. So for egress and emergency systems, everything seems to be fine. I think we got a perfect 5 out of 5 here. Exit signs are illuminated. Emergency lighting is operational. I looked at all the lights and they all have the little red dot glowing, so I think they're good. Exit routes are all unobstructed. Fire-rated doors are in good condition and they all self-close. And there's no storage in the exit ways either that I found. So I think that kind of rounds us out right there. I think we'll just go over number 6, which is just additional observations. I had none. Everything looked great except for those first 2 things. And so I think we're going to go outside and end it here. Outside at the sign. And so after going through everything, here, let me look at my paper. After going through everything, it appears we had almost a perfect record except for that first fire. The fire alarms, some of the pole stations were damaged or otherwise non-existent. And the fire alarm control panel could have been more accessible. I don't. If you remember the janitorial closet that it was in, it was accessible, but there was some stuff kind of in the way. So if you really needed to get to it quick, that might have caused a problem. But other than that, we had the fire department connection did not have a sign on it. So I believe everything else is great. So what would that be? 5, 10, 14, 18. 23, so that's a perfect 20 out of 23. So that's still pretty good. There was just a couple things that if I were an inspector, I would, so nothing immediately dangerous that I would believe that would like, I think, oh crap, people are going to die if we don't cover this immediately. So nothing immediately concerning, but there are a couple things that as an inspector, I would let them know that they should fix within the week, or I believe the time is like 3 weeks or something like that. So that's about it. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in class later. I think we have more class.